Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. As I come to you this week, there is an ongoing effort, an ongoing onslaught, if you will, on the part of the Palestinians to claim that the Temple Mount, the Golden Dome, you've seen pictures of it, the Temple Mount has belonged to the Muslims forever, that there was never a Jewish temple there. As you know, the Dome of the Rock is built on Mount Moriah, and that historically, biblically, is where Abraham offered up Isaac as a sacrifice. God stayed his hand and provided a ram in place of it, of Abraham's sacrifice of Isaac. But there's an ongoing effort on the part of the Palestinians to discredit this. They have the control over the Temple Mount at this point, and underneath, for the last several years, they've been destroying very valuable archaeological artifacts that would demonstrate, would prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that the Jews were there, that Solomon's temple was there, that Herod's temple was there, that Jesus walked in that temple, he taught in that temple. But in an effort to demonstrate or to perpetuate the myth, really, that the Jews were never there, the Palestinians have attempted to do this. This will not last. Truth will prevail. As a matter of fact, just this last week, the chief rabbi for the Israel Defense Forces, Brigadier General Rafi Peretz, said, the word Jerusalem does not even appear once in the Quran. We know that. We know that. Jerusalem appears over 700 times in the scriptures. Quran has no mention of Jerusalem at all. He says 90% of the Arabs don't know what is written in the Quran. He says we know the Quran better than most of them. What is the Al-Aqsa Mosque? Do you know? Build me a mosque on the edge, is what Islam said. On the edge of what? Of Mecca? On the edge of the Arabian Peninsula? The Dome of the Rock is not on the edge, which is why it is said it's all about honor. It has no religious meaning in Islam. They build it at the edge of the Temple Mount, but what direction do they face when they pray? They face toward Mecca. They don't face toward the Dome of the Rock. Their rear ends are facing the Dome of the Rock, which is supposed to be a holy site for them. So this is an ongoing conflict. There are some of the Knesset now who are trying to correct this. As a matter of fact, even now, the Muslims are demanding that Jews and Christians do not worship there. They cannot worship on the Temple Mount. And this is causing a great uproar. This will not last. What does God say about this? That's what we need to hear. What does God say about this? Well, in 1 Kings 9, God says this to Solomon. Solomon is he's been ordained now to build a temple. David wanted to do it. God says, no, you can't do it. It's going to be your son do it. And he said, it's good that you had it in your heart, David, to do this, but Solomon's going to build the temple. And then God says this to Solomon. 1 Kings 9, verse 3. I have heard the prayer. I've heard the prayer and the plea that you have made before me. I have consecrated this temple. Yahweh said, I have consecrated this temple, which you have built by putting my name, the name of Yahweh there, forever. My eyes and my heart will always be there. Now that's what God says about the Temple Mount. That's what Yahweh says about the Temple Mount. As a matter of fact, Psalm 135 closes by saying this, praise be to Yahweh from Zion, to him who dwells in Jerusalem. Hallelujah. Who dwells in Jerusalem? Yahweh continues to dwell there. And his presence is forever there at that temple site. As a matter of fact, the closing verses of prophet Ezekiel, he has as a matter of fact, the closing chapters, 40 through 48, there's a very elaborate direction given to Ezekiel as to what the temple should look like, the future temple that will be in existence when Messiah reigns for 1,000 years on this earth. And It's given in great detail, and the closing verses of the prophet Ezekiel tells us in Ezekiel 48, the Jerusalem's name will be changed at this time. It will no longer be Jerusalem, no longer be Yerushalayim. It will be Yahweh Shammah. Yahweh is there. Not Allah, but Yahweh is there. God will have the final word, the last word, on who occupies and who does the Temple Mount belong to. Hallelujah. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. Yahweh bless you, Yahweh bless yours.